Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the workshop. It is fantastic to have you here as ever, and especially because today is going to be an extra amazing episode. We're going to be joined by a fabricator, Jason from Fireball Tools. He knows what he's doing when it comes to making stuff out of steel, and I am so excited to be learning from him. Before we jump into that and we meet him, let's thank today's sponsor, which is Bumfell. Bumfell is the online clothing service that takes the hassle out of buying men's clothing, which is just fantastic. We want to be working in the workshop. We don't want to be going out shopping, and with Bumfell, you fill out a simple questionnaire. You then get matched one-to-one with a stylist who picks out some clothes for you. You get 48 hours to decide if you want to have those clothes or not. They ship them out to you. The best thing is you can try them on at home. So you get your shipment, you try it on, you see what you like, you see what you don't, you ship back what you don't like, you only pay for what you keep. Bumfell is giving you guys $25 off your first order with them when you sign up at bumfell.com/forge. Thank you, Bumfell, for sponsoring this video and setting me up with this nice shirt here. Got a nice pair of jeans on. Let's get into the episode. So Jason is here from Fireball Tool, which is really exciting. He has a hell of a lot of experience with metalworking. Do you want to tell them a little bit about yourself, what it is you do?
Absolutely. I've been a millwright since the late 90s. Built large buildings and fabrication, and I just love to build things. So when I saw Alec move to Montana, he was just a stone throws away. I gladly wanted to come over and help him build whatever he wants to build and get his shop operational, and I'm excited to maybe share some of my experience with him that I've learned over the past 20 years and get him on his way. So I'm happy to be here.
Well, I am seriously happy that you're here. Really, really happy because, there is so much that you can be able to teach us, and I'm really, really grateful for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's so much that you can be able to share with the viewers of this show, because
absolutely,
I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. Well, you know a little better.
Well, like the old story goes, be a good welder, all you have to do is be able to hide your mistakes better than the other guy. So that's the whole idea anyway. So well, hopefully we won't have to hide any mistakes this time.
That is the plan, and plan number one, however, is we're looking at this beautiful power hammer that we have, and we now have the rubber matting to go underneath it. We thought it would be pretty cool to get it on the ground and hopefully this week have that beast up and running and able to forge some steel. Will is working on getting the treadle off. The hammer is currently on a steel pallet, as you can see, so the challenge is going to be getting that machine off of there safely onto the deck, getting the rubber matting under it, making sure it's all in the right place, and this is going to be exciting. Moving machines and heavy equipment, it's a challenge, it's fun, I've always enjoyed it every time I've done it. You, of course, have a lot more experience with it than I do.
Unfortunately, yes.
But we're going to jump right in to getting this bad boy off. There we go, treadle's off. So to get a bar under the machine, Jason is going to use the oxypropane torch. He's going to cut out some of this plate, and then we're going to be able to get the crowbar under and pop her up. Hey, that was... You done that once before, have you?
A little bit. A few times.
That was awesome. This machine is a 6,300 pound monster of a machine. There's a lot of weight, which is why we can't just kind of get any forklift to pick it up and put it on the ground. You know, it's high up, it's a lot of weight. So what we've done, we've got it blocked up high enough that we can put some steel in all the way across. We're gonna support it outside of the pallet, and then it's gonna lower down. What we need to do though, of course, is we need to get some more steel, because we don't have enough steel to do it. So we're gonna make a quick run to the steel supply, see what scrap they have, and then we can slap that under there, get that pallet out, and then it should lower down a lot easier. Okie dokie, we have this ready to get onto rollers. In one move, we're gonna be down on the rollers on this end. We're then gonna come up, be down on the rollers on that end. We might actually put a block under there first so it doesn't roll as we lift it from that one end. But once it's on those pieces of steel tube, we're gonna be coming back into this corner right there. I'm gonna make sure the hammer is squared up on the pad exactly where we want it. It's gonna be slightly off center, and we're then gonna be able to drop it to the ground pretty simply. So we now have the hammer almost on the ground. And let me tell you what, this thing here is one of the greatest tools there ever is. This is a toe jack, and the first time I ever saw a machinery mover moving heavy equipment, I saw him use one of these things, and I've always wanted one. I got one for this shop here, and it has been so useful. The best thing about it is it will go just about 3/4 of an inch off the ground. It'll lift 5 tons here, it'll lift 10 tons up here, and it has been invaluable in helping get this on the ground safely. Very worth mentioning, a little preface here, that this is a very dangerous way of moving equipment around, and you shouldn't be trying this if you haven't been taught how to do it, if you don't have pros around, because this is a dangerous way of doing it. You know, it's heavy equipment, it can fall, seriously bad things can happen, but you know, you gotta go slow, and bear in mind that you definitely don't wanna be doing this if you're not experienced. You know, getting somebody in with a forklift or a crane could save you a hell of a lot of expense in a broken machine or a broken life. Now, we have that sitting just off the ground. We haven't put it on the ground yet because we need to put matting under there. This is some vibration control matting. I contacted a company that is just meant to be the bee's knees when it comes to vibration control in this type of industry. Heavy things, hitting things hard, and I'm like, hey look, I want to do the best I can to make sure that I protect this concrete floor so I don't have to cut a slab, and I want to control the vibration as much as possible. They spec it out to the machine, and they end up sending a box full of pieces of matting in enough surface area to cover the bottom of the machine. And this stuff is not cheap. This is about the most expensive matting you could possibly imagine, but it's meant to be good. We'll see if it is. You know, if it isn't, then I'll feel pretty bad about the $900. If it is good, I'll feel great. It needs to get underneath the power hammer, but the first thing we need to do is we need to cut out in the rubber where our holes are gonna go. We got the holes cut. Time to get the mat under the hammer and make it hit the deck. Woo! We're gonna have a running hammer tomorrow. Okay, so we've got an issue. We accidentally moved the hammer a little bit when we were getting that toe jack out, so we need to put it back in place, but the delivery driver for a steel order I placed has just arrived, so we've got to clear all this out so we can get some steel in. We have so much steel. That is a full steel rack. And that makes me happy. We're gonna get back to that power hammer, get that on the deck, get it on the matting, and start drilling the holes. Final little bit. Let's see what happens. It's out. Oh, we're gonna squish the rubber. Oh, it's on the ground. So what we had to do to be able to get that toe jack in there is we had to cut out a piece of the matting there. And so put that right back there. There we go, lovely. And now it is time to drill our holes. We're gonna be using 1-inch all thread, and the plan is to use a 2-part anchor epoxy to glue that 1-inch all thread into the concrete. That's how I've mounted all the hammers that I've ever used. It's how I've mounted my anvils. It's how I've mounted anything to concrete. And the benefit to it is you don't compromise the strength of the concrete as much as you do when you use an expanding anchor, which is something that I'm quite, I want to be careful to not break the concrete. You know, I want to be respectful of the concrete. This is a rented building, and so that's where that chemical epoxy is extra good, because we're not stressing it by using an expanding anchor quite so much. Here is an 1.1/8" SDS drill bit, which is here on this here doohickey me what's it. We're going 1.1/8", so there's that 1/8 of an inch around the perimeter for the epoxy to take it up and hopefully hold the bolts in well. We're gonna go about as deep as we possibly can with that bit and that drill. Get as much bonding power as we can. So I'm gonna drill the holes. Okay, we've got a problem. See that right in there in the hole?
The shiny thing?
That's rebar. Oh no, that's a big problem.
Rebar is really bad.
I don't exactly know what it is that we do when we hit rebar while drilling concrete. That's never happened to me. So you're the pro. What do you do when you hit rebar while you're drilling concrete?
Well, you got two choices. You can either move the machine like in our instance, we could move it over a few inches, or you can angle the drill to try to miss the rebar itself, or get what you call a rebar eater, which is a carbide tipped little hole saw. You can literally cut through the side of the rebar and then continue drilling after that. They're kind of expensive though, but in this case might be worth it.
Will is on the phone calling about a rebar eater right now. So Will is gonna go and grab those in town. Here is the 10 horsepower motor. We've got to somehow get this off, down, and get that to be ready to install, hopefully also today. Hopefully without hitting any more rebar. We've got the motor in place. We used a bar up there onto the end of this pulley here. We got our holes marked out, ready to be drilled, and then ready for us to epoxy in the anchors. Will's back.
Playtime's over, kids. We got a real roto hammer now.
That is the size of a car.
It literally barely fit in the back of my Jeep.
That's a big bit too.
Say hello to my little friend.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
We have the epoxy in here at the motor. This is what Will just bought, a rebar eater, rebar cutter. You don't use this in hammer. Apparently there's some carbide on here, and you cut through the rebar. So, gotta drill the hole out to 1 1/8 inch, get down to the rebar, then go down with this through the rebar, and then continue drilling the hole in the power hammer. You wanna do the honors, Will?
Sure thing, chicken wing.
So we got a really huge problem here. Huge problem, which is when you stick a tape measure down in this slab past to where the drill keeps going through, this slab is 3 inches thick. Now, when Will was looking at units and scouting them out here, one of the big concerns.
One of the thick selling points was the thick slab. Supposedly 6 inches thick, verified by the real estate agent that it was, in fact.
And I mean, it was like point number 1 on the list of things for us to have in a workshop was at least a 6-inch slab. Because a hammer like this, you run it on less than 6 inches, you're gonna end up cracking the concrete.
Unless you like spiderweb decorations on your concrete floors, that's not a good thing.
It's not a good thing. And so, you know, we were told this is 6 inches. The trouble is right now, I don't know if I have it in writing that this was a 6-inch slab, which is really annoying. And this is just a lesson. Anybody out there running a business, anything that's important, get it in writing. Because I don't think I have it in writing that this is a 6-inch slab, so I'm gonna be in a little bit of a pickle here going forwards. But, you know, we didn't know if it was just an anomaly here, that it was 3 inches, but you know, Will poked through over there at about 3 inches of depth, so this is just hugely problematic. I mean, this is up there with one of the biggest problems of this entire venture of moving to the US, because I've got a lease on this building for 2 years, and one of the most important tools, the power hammer, is not sitting on concrete thick enough to support it. That's a problem. But what isn't a problem is the fact that we're about to go get some barbecue. And this is a great opportunity to thank our sponsor, which is Bombfell, because, you know, I'm dressed in my work clothes like this, and Bombfell is an online clothing service that helps us all stay a little bit more stylish with a little less effort.
And so there we go. I tried them on here in the workshop, and I have to say, jeans fit really well. Very comfortable. I think I'm gonna keep these. The shirt, the fit is really good on the shirt.
I'm a big fan of that. I have never had a brown shirt.
I think we could work with that. The one problem is, though, and this is one of the great reasons Bombfell is such a good service, is I'm actually not such a fan of the jacket. It doesn't fit too well. The sleeves are a little bit long on me, but that's why Bombfell's great, because you only pay for what it is that you keep. So of course in the box is a label and a bag for shipping it back. So you can see that discounts here. You keep 2 things, you get 10% off. Keep 3, 15, 4, 20% off. This gives you a breakdown of the prices of the pieces. And then of course right here is a FedEx label. All you gotta do is drop off this package with that label at the nearest FedEx location.
And that's how easy it is to try on clothes at home with Bombfell. And when you use my link in the description, bombfell.com/forge, you are gonna get $25 off your first order. I'm gonna be keeping this shirt so I can pull that tag off. Be keeping the jeans too. Thank you, Bombfell, for sponsoring the video, helping us men shop for good clothes nice and easily. Thank you to my stylist, Michael, for picking out a good shirt and a good set of jeans. Don't forget, bombfell.com/forge. You're gonna get $25 off your first order with them. That is bombfell.com/forge. Thank you guys for watching this episode so much. I really appreciate your viewership. Helps, especially when we have a pretty sad moment like finding out that the 6-inch slab turns out to be 3 inches thick. That's a real bummer, but it's great being able to bring you guys along. What are we gonna have to do? There are 2 options. One of them is we pour a concrete slab, a concrete foundation for the power hammer. The other one is we just stick a 4x8 sheet of, inch thick steel down and we spread the load. The thing is that it depends on what it is that the landlord wants to do. The best option is gonna be cutting and pouring a slab. It's gonna take a lot of time to get that all done. That's the best option, but we'll see how it goes. Don't forget, guys, to go and subscribe to Fireball Tools. He has been helping us get this hammer on the ground. He's gonna be here helping us for a couple more days. Jason rocks. Thank you, Jason. Thank you guys for being here. I'll catch you on the next episode very, very soon. Bye-bye.